let's talk Back to the Future. Specifically, Back to the Future, the musical that I went to see the other day. So, a kind of review, my thoughts on what I saw. So let's talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, on the 30th of December 2024, me and the wife, we had tickets booked for the Adelphi Theatre up in London, along the Strand, to go and see the Back to the Future musical. Now, I know a few people that have seen this stage show and have raved about it, that sort of a thing. So, me and the wife, we kind of said to ourselves in the lead up to Christmas, let's not buy ourselves too much in the way of presents. Let's use some of that money to go out and go to the theatre up in London. So, I wanted to see Les Miserables for the umpteenth time. She wanted to see The Lion King. I didn't want to see The Lion King. She was okay with going to see Les Mis again. We were going to do Les Mis and Back to the Future. We dwindled it down to Back to the Future. We were going to do both on different days, obviously, but in the end we settled with just going the once up there to see Back to the Future, and we'll do Les Mis or whatever a little bit down the line. Reason being is that going up into central London, I'm not a fan of doing that anymore. I don't enjoy going up there, walking around, hitting the shops. It's very busy. It does my nut in. So we went to a matinee showing that was at 2:30. We went and we had something to eat first in Frankie and Benny's. Then we, after that, actually, I went to the Forbidden Planet, had a look in there. There was nothing in there for me to pick up. I was tempted, but I didn't. And then we went into the stage show, into the theatre. So I had seats in the stalls, sort of at the middle, just below the balcony kind of thing. And they were dear enough on their own, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I didn't buy anything in there, in the souvenir store or anything like that. There was nothing I wanted, not at the prices that they sell them, because it's extortionate, it's stupid price stuff. So anyway, so I sat down, I watched this stage show. I watched this Back to the Future musical, which obviously has a lot of songs in it, obviously songs created for this musical. It does include songs that are from the film itself, like The Power of Love. Back in Time is the other song that's played over the titles at the end. Obviously the stuff at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, Earth Angel, and was Earth Angel used in it actually, or was it something else they used? I can't remember. But Johnny B. Good is there, do you know what I mean? But all these other songs are made up all the way through. So I got to watching it and I had issues. I had issues all the way through this stage show. Okay, all the way through this musical. Where do I begin? Let me go into the good first. Okay, so I thought that the presentation, I thought the whole experience was really good. What they did with the lights on the side, what they did with the car, with the screen coming down in front of the car and stuff behind the car to make it look like it was moving, all very, very good, right? And it starts off, obviously you've got the original musical score for the Alan Silvestri's original musical score playing and all this thing, and that gets you all upbeat and this sort of a thing. And anytime you hear that score anyway, it's going to get you upbeat. Okay, but the issues began with, well, I was going to go into the good. Okay, so sorry, the good. Okay, the geezer played the Marty McFly character. I thought he didn't particularly look the part, but he very much sounded like Michael J. Fox's delivery of stuff in the film. So you could shut your eyes and you could believe it was him. His hair was annoying me because he had a microphone on that's, and it pushed in the hair. It pushed the hair in, and it looked like almost like he had a headband on all the way through it, and it was like really annoying me. That was. You had the geezer who played Doc. Now Doc, I know that Doc is a character that you get a few laughs out of in the film and this sort of thing. And he's the character here that is played for laughs primarily. So they put a lot more on him. However, it seems very forced kind of a portrayal of the character to garner laughs from the audience. So that didn't sit right with me. You know, it could have been toned back a bit. Then after watching or during it, I started to think to myself, this is made for the left, like left wing in society. This is, and this started to come into play at the beginning of the musical, right? The point in the musical where we're at Twin Pines Mall and Doc Brown in the film is gunned down by Libyan terrorists. That doesn't happen, okay? What happens here is he's killed or he collapses, whatever it may be, because his radiation suit is no good. It's ripped, it's broke, and he gets radiation poisoning from the plutonium. Let's not have terrorists in it. Let's not mention terrorists. Let's not have the use of a gun, because we don't want to upset anybody, right? That's that. Okay, there was some race swapping in the stage show in minor characters like Jennifer and things like that, so I'm not going to go into that too much, but I do generally have an annoyance with that sort of a thing, because generally that only goes one way, it doesn't go the other. And then we get to the bit towards the end of the film, or the end of this musical, where Marty is pulled out of the car with Lorraine by Biff, and it takes a bit of a digging, and in the film he's thrown into the boot of Marvin Berry's, you know, Chuck Berry's cousin or whatever it is, or in the boot of their car. And when they're breaking him out of it, that's where the geezer, the guitar player, does his hand in. Well, in this, what they do is they throw him into a dustbin, like, you know, the four-wheeled ones with a big lid, right, and lock it. Fair enough. No problem with that. And then the Berries come along and they get him out, and that's where he injures his hand. So Marty has to play the guitar. But there's a joke. There's a joke that's said at this point where the black guys go, oh, is that what we call, is that what's considered white trash? Okay, and my jaw hit the floor, because it's just so obvious that this wouldn't happen the other way around. I know white trash is a term, so to speak, but what I'm saying is you wouldn't have had anything negative to say about anyone of colour. Here you wouldn't even consider doing it. You wouldn't even consider doing it, right? So I'm just sat there thinking, this is Back to the Future edging left, right? Not quite there, but it's there. You know, there's the signs showing, the cracks are beginning to impact this kind of a production, so to speak. So I came away a bit sort of like, I enjoyed what I saw. Okay, you know, it was very, very well done. You know, like I said, Marty was good, sounded good. Doc, I didn't like the geezer who played Doc Brown. And like I said, it was played too heavily for laughs. It was too forced. The geezer who played Marty's father, George, spot on, excellent, really, really good. Biff, not so much, but he didn't have too much of a big part in it anyway. But yeah, you know, I wouldn't go back and see it again, is what I'm saying, right? And I've seen, you know, stage productions for and I'm not talking musicals, you know. I've seen a stage production for Shawshank Redemption. I've seen Titanic on stage. I've seen several different things. Titanic I shouldn't really say, because it's a true story. It's you got the film, you got other films, and all this sort of thing. But certainly, when you're talking Shawshank Redemption and this, and When Harry Met Sally, I've seen, right. I realised while watching Back to the Future that what I'm actually watching is an inferior product. It's like I've allowed myself to watch what is inferior to the original in every case. Yeah, so never have I been to a stage show and thought to myself, you know, that is fantastic, that is far better than the movie. It's more a case of leaving it and saying, do you know what, I wish I'd watched the movie. It's not giving me anything more than what the movie gives me. The songs aren't exactly catchy. I don't want to be singing them. I don't want to hear them again. I want to see these scenes that I know as they were done better. But what I will say, like I said, the car stuff, you know, you got, and you're blinded. You're kind of, it's kind of like when Hollywood releases a remake of something and it's name association. It's that kind of a thing. This is Back to the Future. You've got the music there, right? You know, you've got the Alan Silvestri score playing. You've got the DeLorean on stage, which looks great, you know, and like I said, the special effects that they did with the DeLorean when it was moving and all this sort of thing, and the clock tower, I can't fault it. That was fabulous stuff. The DeLorean takes off at the end, you know, the wheels go underneath. It comes up, it flies out into the audience towards you. Although it was very dark on the underside. There wasn't no light into the underside of the DeLorean that I thought was unfortunate. So as it comes out, it's just dark. It does turn upside down, this sort of a thing, so you can see in it, and it back the way round. But that's nothing that I haven't seen in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, when Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was on stage and the car takes off and comes out towards the audience. So yeah, so I came away a bit sort of disappointed, a bit kind of like, okay, yeah, it was good, I get why people like it, but I think I'd much rather just watch the film, spend my time watching the film. And that was my experience with it. I had an ice cream. Me and the missus both had a small ice cream. They were that cost 11 quid for the two of them, right? That's expensive, isn't it, really? It was a mint one. I had mint, she had vanilla. I like mint ice cream. No, that was nice. That was probably the best thing about it. It was a overpriced mint ice cream. Yeah, so it's certainly not a show that I would ever consider going to see again. You know, props to them in how they done the special effects. Great. But overall, my experience left me wanting a superior product, that being the movie.